Hello, everyone. So I'm reading articles this morning, and I realize now more than ever that it seems like everything that we used to know about things is inverted. It seems like everything that's good is bad, everything that's bad is good, up is down, left is right. And we're being told now, more than ever, that we're just supposed to absorb something into our bodies that we think is bad, we know is experimental, and we think is wrong. And if we don't do it, everyone's going to be against us for being on the wrong side of history. What am I talking about? Shitty fucking prog rock, of course. And this is a band I did not want to cover, but I keep getting asked to do so. I probably should cover them because this band, Polyphia, is shaping modern guitar, like it or not. And the reason it's succeeding is because the music is very flashy. It's quasi-emotive, and the skeleton of the music is simple as shit. So everyone can get into it and be lured by the superficial elements that are somewhat complicated. But I want to talk about this particular song that went viral a while ago, showcasing their talents. It's essentially a 3.5-minute drum loop with somewhat complicated guitar, but it's the one song everybody seems to talk about, and I'm sure it's shaped many guitar players' ambitions, young and old. And I just kind of want to break it down, look at what it is for real, and discuss what it means in terms of the prog rock lexicon that it's trying to be part of. So here's Polyphia's Goat. Okay, so right away, that doesn't sound like anything that I would hear in rock or whatever kind of actual instrumentation-based music. This sounds like trap. It sounds like shitty trap, rap, whatever you want to call it. It's the same kind of sample that you're going to hear from pop artists. So that's the first thing you're getting in your ear. That's setting the stage. This is going to be pop music. See what I mean about shit being inverted? I mean, they give it to you right away. All right, so this is our guy. This is Tim Henson. He is the brainchild of this band. Everybody seems to love this guy, and it's hard for me to look at him, honestly. I'm going to try not to be a superficial judge of what that represents, and just talk about his style. So I've watched a few videos, and he's part of that YouTube movement where the guitar is very clean, not distorted, just so that you could hear the intricacies, making sure that you're aware that he's playing complicated music. But at the heart of it, what you're hearing here is essentially a 4/4 drum loop, and this melody that he's playing right now is essentially the only actual melody in the song. And I rag on a lot of bands for not having melodic sensibility. This band has it. They understand what a melody is, how to construct a melody. Do they understand how to construct a song around it? Let's hear it. So do you notice how if you're listening to shitty rap nowadays, the beat stays consistent, but that hi-hat, you'll get like triplets in the hi-hat. That's really the only fluctuation in rhythm that you'll hear. Same shit here. This is a fucking trap hip-hop song disguised as prog rock. I don't know how it's fooling anyone. You got to get that ethereal aspect of the music across when you don't really have a plan. So fill it up with harmonics. Let it ring right through. There you have your background for essentially the same kind of mood that you've established for the first riff. So there's slight rhythmic variations, but it's essentially the same bass line that's permeating the entire track. It's the same mood. It establishes the mood immediately and does not let up. There's the only thing that can really compel you to continue watching this would be the guitar theatrics and parts in the middle, like there was just a minute ago, where very little is happening. You're just anticipating that next fireworks show on the fretboard. Aside from that, what else is happening in this song? So you can see what they're trying to do here is give every instrument its chance to shine. Valiant effort. I don't really see any fault in doing that. If you're going to be a band like this where your main goal is to showcase how complex your musicianship is, why not let everyone have a chance to shine? It's good that the guitar players are allowing this to happen for the bass. But the more and more this unravels, the more you see how superficial it is. And the aspects of prog that make prog what it is that it's supposed to be transcendent of the human experience. And people ask me, what are some prog bands if this isn't one of them? Well, that's difficult to answer, but if you look at where prog originated from, prog rock, where it originated from, it's none of those bands, like your King Crimsons, your Yes, none of that shit is even remotely in the same ballpark as this in terms of the overall scope of what the music is intending to do. So when you talk progressive, you do want to expand on boundaries. I get that, but the boundaries aren't genre-based. They should be humanity-based. And what you're hearing here is essentially them just creaming into the ears of their audience, giving the audience exactly what they want. When you're trying to do progressive music, you want to divorce yourself from elements of humanity that are trapping it. This is just give the audience what you want, give them a very human experience. By being ambitious with the musicianship, you can relate to that. That is a very easy thing for humans to relate to. Oh, he got good at a skill. He practiced and practiced and practiced, and he's finally good at it. That's something I can relate to. What most people can't relate to is a very unique message in the music that you're bringing to the table. And what is the message here? I mean, if you look at the acronym for what the song is, Greatest of All Time, I mean, I don't know if it's tongue-in-cheek. I don't know if they're really that far up their asses, but this whole aspect of making sure that the musicianship is first and foremost of utmost importance to the music is really detrimental to what prog really should stand for. Like if you watch my Spiral Architect video, that band had an entire motive behind that album. Every song drove the theme of the album home, and the music ended up reflecting what the vocals were doing, and the themes came across musically, the songs developed, the riffs actually needed each other to balance the song out, and it felt like it was a transcendent experience at the end of it. At the end of this, I'm going to see a bunch of metalcore kids that are pretty good at instrumentation. And that's it. All those drops, all those like really gimmicky sounds that you hear in there, that's all part of the trap metal genre too. That's not part of prog rock, that's not part of metal, that's part of modern pop. I don't know why they keep falling back on it every time they need to make a transition happen. So what this is telling me essentially is that modern people should not attempt progressive music because, as I've explained in other videos, the internet and social media era has driven us all up our own asses so hard that we're all just walking egos. Every single one of us, myself included. We all have just been fed this constant diet of reassurance through, going back as far as, MySpace, all of that shit that shaped my generation, this generation, that constant reassurance it's made us just need it, just constantly need it. And every single aspect about this, every frame in this video is a selfie to the audience that they want to get likes with. And old prog wasn't like that. Old prog wasn't rooted in ego. It wasn't about trying to get across how great you were at musicianship. All of them were, but they used it to forge some kind of message in their music. What is the message here? I mean, it's chill. It has a vibe, if I want to talk like modern people. But what else does it have? I've been told to check out some other songs, and I can do so, but I know that the crux of the issue with this kind of music is because of the people that are playing it. It's the modern mind that creates this kind of shit. And, despite what the media is telling us is really detrimental to us, this shit is completely safe. That's the main issue, is that prog rock, prog metal, all that shit, it's adventurous. It's supposed to take us to uncharted waters, make us feel like, this isn't something that is familiar to us. It's going to be interesting. None of that is here. This is just making sure that you have a wavelength to relate to them on a very superficial level, and hammer home that one melody to make sure that you'll hum it enough to come back to it after the visual representation of the musical theatrics fades. Aside from that, you really don't have much going on here. So the issue with this is that, like I've said many times, this is very easy to emulate. It's, if you want to practice and get good at this kind of shit, read the comments section for the video. Everybody is saying that this has caused them to practice, and after a few years they still can't get it, that's the kind of thing where that is what's driving this music, is to compel people to play, to be just like them. And that ambition it's just so superficial compared to what real actual depth in music can present from an author to the audience. You shouldn't listen to music and think to yourself, oh man, I really wish I could play that someday. It's already been played by them. Let them own it. You forge your own path. When you listen to someone that's doing something that's inspiring to you, you should be like, man, they went ahead and they exercised their voice. They came forward and didn't compromise, and they presented who they were, and that's what's inspiring to me, not how they played. But you don't see that. Now what you're going to see is everybody saying, I want to be that good at musicianship. And that is just, it's just going up your ass for eternity. If you don't have a reason that you're trying to express yourself through music, there is no reason to try to get good at an instrument. An instrument is there to express who you are. It's not there so that you can just get good at it. If there's no end in sight to, when do you stop? If your goal is to just get good and you don't actually have an ambition that leads towards expressing who you are, how do you know when your end goal is? Do you just keep practicing your scales, keep practicing your sweep picking? When does it end? That sounds like a fucking chore to me. If that is your goal, to just do chores for the rest of your life as a hobby, God fucking damn it. Just put me right in the coffin right now, if that's what you want. I don't get it, man. But yeah, that's Polyphia. Thank you for making me suffer through that. And thank you again for listening.